How to change how society thinks. Everyone has a thought of their own, holds an opinion, likes and dislikes, and not everyone will happen to agree on everything, or else the world would be black and white, and that would just be boring. However, understanding a society and being able to inspire a person is what a message is truly about. My name is Genevieve Langlois, and I'm comparing the two TED Talks to this day by Shane Koyczyn and The Dangers of a Single Story by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie to answer the question, how can a message change how society thinks? Chimamanda was born in Nigeria. A lot of people believe that that is a poor place where the people are not understandable and there are simply a lot of wild animals. Now, it is not untrue, it's just simply not the entire story. Like her roommate said throughout her speech, her roommate thought she was not even able to use a stove. In her speech, Chimamanda explains how vulnerable children can be at a young age, and she starts reading. She mostly read American and British books. So, as a result, when she started writing, most of her characters had blue eyes, played in snow, ate apples, and talked about the weather. Now, she had never been outside of Nigeria, so she did not know what snow was. She mostly ate mangoes and talking about the weather was just simply not necessary. Now, all of those stereotypes, those are found everywhere. Quoting Chimamanda, the problem with stereotypes is not that they aren't true, but that they are simply incomplete. They make one story become the entire story. Now, we all know in reality, there are multiple stories to one person. Now, that creates stereotypes. Now, don't worry, Canada has stereotypes too. At the beginning of his speech, Shane talks about his dreams. And just for a second, the audience knows how stereotypes has affected him, as he states. Granted, my dreams are shy because they're Canadian. In the long run, stereotypes can be changed into rumors, and rumors are a part of a story passed on to another person. And to be able to send a clear message, it needs to be broken down for everyone to understand the message properly. In different cultures and continents, people are faced with the same issue as they are put in different scenarios, kind of like different colored dots. In both talks, there is a recurring issue, a vicious cycle. In the talk To This Day, it is the cycle of bullying. When one gets bullied, he will turn to bully another. Shane says, one of the first lines of poetry I can remember writing was in response to a world that had demanded that I hate myself. From the age 15 to 18, I hated myself for becoming that thing I loathe, a bully. Just like in The Danger of a Single Story, she talks about a cycle of a single story. It becomes very easy to take part in these cycles, as both of them have been in them themselves. These cycles can be avoided by telling the entire truth and by not judging what you hear. To inspire someone to change, you want them to know all the facts. To change someone's mind, there has to be a spark. Both speakers have a super efficient way to grab the audience. Chimamanda explains her story from the point of view and explains how badly her cycle is and can influence the entire world around us. She asks the audience rhetorical questions in hopes that they will think on it. And in a completely different way, but still is unique, Shane uses metaphors and simile are a way to make his message through to his audience. Using tremendous power in his language and a perfect mixture of emotions, he is able to make his audience shake and cry, and mostly reflect on how the society is acting. While both speakers have a unique way of delivering, they both finish their talk with a powerful and brilliant end. Shane Koyczyn says, but our lives will only ever always continue to be a balancing act that has less to do with pain and more to do with beauty. And Chamanda says, when we reject the single story, when we realize that there is never a single story about any place, we regain a kind of paradise, which is the spark. In conclusion, because of the understanding an entire story and inspiring someone to change, we are able to change how society thinks. An entire situation is from A to Z, no matter the continent or the culture. Explaining the different problems can help with someone see how it can affect everyone. Inspiring someone to change is hard, but using an experienced example, powerful emotions, and a sparkling ending is the best way to do it. And someone will stand up and want to change. To make someone think about it is like reading a really good book. The parts you remember the most are the parts that touched you the most. I recommend you watching the TED Talk To This Day by Shane Koiskin, if you haven't already. The TED Talk The Danger of a Single Story by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The TED Talk My Story From Gangland Daughter to Star Teacher by Pearl Arredondo. And the TED Talk Rai Photo That Turns Stereotypes Upside Down by Ildil Bakasiuza. If you have any questions, please send them to my email. Thank you for watching.